Hello, everyone. We are live here with some of the leaders who attended the summit, the leader summit that was in the Bahamas. I'm really missing the Bahamas right now. Anyone else?
It's a few more days of just.
We needed a few more days to just lay by the beach, but it was a really great experience. And so I wanted to have as many leaders who can hop on and kind of share some of their takeaways or epiphanies or just feelings before we move on to the next training. So I'm so excited to see some of the ladies that were there. And I know there's a lot of ladies that couldn't make it at this time. So hello, Corinne and Erin and Ashley and Amanda and Trinity. Thanks for joining us today. So I want to hear, is there anyone that has to leave early that wants to go first? Erin and Ashley and Trinity. Okay, we'll go in that order. Erin, Ashley, okay. Trinity.
Yeah, sorry. I told my business coach I had to postpone by 15 minutes. So
okay, go for it, girl.
So I went with a lot of excitement as a stay-at-home mom, and as things have not been as active out in the real world over the past couple of years. I am personally desperate for opportunities to be in person with other people. And something that I discovered as well is that a lot of people feel the same way. So, I mean, I respect everybody's right to choose not to attend or to attend based on, how they feel about things. But those of us that were able to go, it was just like a breath of fresh air. Like, these are my people. These are people who understand why I do the things that I'm doing. And it was huge. And what I really took away from a lot of the things that were shared, just from talking with each other and from the people on stage, was how badly we need to get back to connecting with each other and building our relationships. I think a lot of what happened with us over the pandemic is things were crazy. Everything got shut down. We got to stay home. And in a lot of ways, that was a blessing because I got to be with my kids. I controlled their schedule. Their schedule did not control me. And I just had this life that was great at home. And then all of a sudden, everything went back to normal. And suddenly, I had this business that was booming, but now I'm trying to add back in all the things I had done before what had happened in the pandemic. And it was really exhausting. Mm-hmm. Like 2021, by the mid to end 2021, all of us were tired. We're tired and we didn't have time to connect with people because now we have our whole lives back and it's exhausting. And you know what? We got to take those words out of our vocabulary. They told us to.
They told us not to say, I am tired. I am exhausted. Anything you say after the words, I am, follow you. That's what
your brain believes it. So let's get back to connecting. Y'all, people, I mean, you're saying people don't want to have parties. Well, find new ways to party with them. You've got this great way that Kelly's talking with a party partner. I mean, again, connecting. We're connecting and working with other people. Start asking for in-home parties. I've had 3 yeses to in-home parties for next month. I have not had people say yes to in-home parties for a long time. I have a vendor event this weekend. Like I'm focusing me on how can I connect with these people, because that's what people are desperate for, ways to connect, because we all have packed schedules and we're trying to balance what grew and what became of our businesses and our lives back being, busy. I don't like that word either. Productive, full, right? And so that's what I walked away with is I need to work harder to connect with all of my team, all of my customers, all of the world, because we're in the business of connections. So that's kind of what I walked away with.
Amen, girl. Preach. It's like we need these in-person experiences, and that creates so much community, which I think is so important. I think that's one of the reasons our team has been so successful is because, I really made it a priority to try to create community from the beginning, create like smaller communities with the chat threads for leaders and Zoom calls and whatever. But I think it's so important.
And I'm even going to say our new compensation plan is doing the same thing. It's trying to help us connect with our teams and with leaders in smaller groups.
Yes.
And ways for us to work and build together because we're stronger together, y'all. Like, even though you are the owner of your own business, you all know you're stronger with your team because you can't grow without them. And so even the compensation plan is really right in line with what the world is looking for if you just give yourself an opportunity to embrace it. Change is weird and hard, but it's the only thing that's constant in life.
Amen, girl. Thank you so much, Erin, for sharing that. And it was fun to hang with you. Okay, who was next? Was it Ashley?
Well, Erin stole mine, so I guess I got to come up with something different. But yeah, I mean, I obviously do everything I can to never miss an in-person event because I agree the community is huge. But if I have to pick a different thing, I would say, you know, a lot of times big changes can be scary and kind of intimidating for us. And one of the big takeaways for me is I just felt like Leader Summit really gave me a sense of excitement and eased some, you know, maybe fears about, you know, comp plan changes and this and that, and just really made me see the reason behind it all, that it is going to have a positive result. And just to really hear and see all the work that went into this, it really just kind of put me at ease, helped me refocus, and, you know, kind of helped settle any fears that I had and really kind of turn them more into excitement. And plus just, I think looking and knowing that, you know, Color Street has a vision for not just this year, but next year and 4 years down the road, to kind of get a glimpse at that. It just, I mean, I already knew we were in great hands, but just hearing it firsthand just made me feel like I know we are in such good hands. And I just can't wait to see, you know, where we go this year and, you know, beyond.
Yeah, it's so great to hear it in person, hear the vision. You know, Mr. Park has kind of been trying to share his like 4-year plan, which I love. Like, that man has vision. That's what I love about him. And, you know, he's been doing this for 30 years. And so like, he knows, he has a lot of experience, and like, it's just so cool I'm just excited about the future. Like, yes, there's gonna, you know, changes, uncomfortable. And there's, you know, and it's kind of like, I always say change is messy at the beginning, hard in the middle, and beautiful at the end. Like, I think there's going to be some changes, but I think if we all stick around for a year to really see how they play out and see how amazing they're going to be for all of our businesses, I think it's going to be really beneficial for everyone and for the long game. You know what I mean? And that's what Mr. Park is playing. Like, he's playing the long game. And so like, he wants this business to be around for 100 years. He wants this to be his legacy. So yeah, it was great to be part of that and hear that. And aren't you, I'm like, I have to say, I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I loved seeing like Lisa and Angie together, or like a power pair. And I just love that we're being led by this power pair of women that have been in the industry, that like know what we're going through. And so it was really cool to see them like working together to rally for us. I loved that. So thank you, Ashley. And you guys, Ashley brought her cute family and her husband. So that's something, you know, these summits are something to work towards, like with, you know, to try to achieve the ranks for next summit. We don't know where the next summit will be, but what did they say the rank would be that you needed to go to the next summit? Do you remember, Ashley?
Elite director, and it's in Hollywood, Florida.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you remember.
That was a huge blessing, because as soon as I looked up that hotel, all I could think in the back of my head was, Leader Summit's going to be fun, but man, my kids would love this. So to take the entire family for a week and even extend it, I mean, Like that's a Color Street blessing right there. Insert income disclosure. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big deal for us. So
yeah, that was really fun that you did that. There were a couple people who brought their husbands, but I think, were you the only one that brought your kids? I didn't see a lot of kids there. Were there any other stylists that brought their kids that you know of?
not that I know of.
It's because your husband's a brave man.
I prepared him well for 2.5 days without me.
But that's so fun. So yeah, it's something to work towards you guys next year. And like, yeah, if you want to pay extra and bring your kids and your husband, and that's something you can look forward to. So thank you, Ashley. And then Trinity, you're up next.
I really enjoyed our speaker. I have never seen a speaker know our language, know how to talk about nail bars. Like, she really studied what we did. And so listening to her speak was just powerful. And she would hang around and mingle with us. And, you know, she was just amazing. So her name was Nikki Kehuhu. I think that's how you spell her name. But I'm following her on social media now, and she's just super uplifting. And one thing she said that was really cool was, we are training people to death. People know what to do. We just have to give them the right support and coaching. That's what I feel like I'm not doing enough, the coaching part. So that's something I'm really going to work harder at learning, because coaching is definitely a learned skill. The other thing, and I think this was the most exciting thing, was seeing how excited Mr. Park is. And he has said this several times now. He is as excited right now with this new comp plan than he was on the day Color Street launched in 2017. He is that excited about it. It gives me goosebumps thinking we get to kind of like rebirth our businesses. And yet most of us aren't going to be starting at zero. We're going to be starting at really good ranks. And now we finally have a comp plan that's going to support stability for a long time. And I love that we're keeping our people closer to us, which, you know, we all know that's how this will work best. The other thing I love is that directors and above will have strategic goals of what to do with their teams. Like, it's always kind of been up in the air. Like, when do you create a team page? When do you start doing shout outs? Like, when do you start taking over that realm? And now with them having like a simplified kind of Cliff Note version of this is what you do when you hit this rank, I think it's going to help us grow stronger leaders. So I'm excited. This is like a new birth for Color Street. So if you have people on the fence who have maybe mentioned to you like, wow, I wish I would have joined you when you first asked me, now's the time. Like, you can't get as new to a relaunch as what we're seeing right now. Super excited. Being there with everyone just gets you going. And thank you for this Zoom, because I'm hearing things that, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So it's like all excited again.
Yeah, it's like a good refresher for all of us. And I love that you mentioned like the, you know, just hearing Mr. Park's excitement. It is we are kind of like starting over, but that's exciting. Like, I feel like a lot of us got, you know, rekindled our excitement for the business and our excitement to like go all in and you know, really make this work. And I think I cannot wait. I'll tell you what I'm super excited about for the comp plan is I cannot wait to see so many people rank advancing left and right. Like, the shout outs in Team Nailed It and on our walls are going to be unreal. And that is going to create so much momentum when you have people, you know, stylists who haven't rank advanced in a while, or stylists who are pretty new that are getting, you know, hitting these new ranks. That is going to be amazing. So I think that I'm stoked for that. And also, Trinity, I want to touch on the coaching since you brought it up, because that was actually like life-changing advice that she shared. Like, honestly, I've already been applying it. I'll kind of talk about what she shared, and then I'm going to talk about how it's already helped me in my own personal life and then in my Color Street business. She basically said that, like Trinity mentioned, we've been training. Training is telling people what to do. Coaching is drawing from them. Coaching is, you know, training is you are the expert. Coaching is they are the expert. Training is, you know, takes like allotted time. Coaching kind of takes more time, but it's more effective. It's basically asking questions. When you hear the word coaching, it's like, I think people get intimidated because they're like, I'm not a coach. I don't know how to coach. But it really is just asking questions so that they can come up with the answers on their own. And so this is really, I wish Hillary was on the call because Hillary was there. And after we listened to the keynote speaker, she and I were walking around the hotel and she started opening up about some of her own struggles. And I was like, okay, I'm going to like practice what I learned. And what she shared, what the keynote speaker, Nikki shared, is you ask questions, you ask who, what, when, where, how questions. You don't ask why, because usually that comes with a judgmental tone, but you ask who, what, when, where, how questions. I even made that my screensaver, my wallpaper on my phone, because it's something I want to get better at as a mom and as a leader. So Hillary and I were chatting and I started just asking her questions like, well, how does that make you feel? Or what have you tried? And things like that. And she, really opened up, even, cried a little bit. And then she came to some conclusions on her own. I wasn't telling her what to do. She was telling her what to do. And do you want to know that people I feel like it's so much more effective when you come up with the idea yourself rather than someone like spoon feeding it, right? It's like with our kids, if we can pull it out of them. She gave an example of her grandson who was like, Mom, he's like, where's the scissors? And she was like, where have you looked? What have you tried? And she like was empowering him to do the things rather than being like, oh, they're over here, or like, oh, go get him and hand them to him. That's like not teaching him anything. We as leaders are guides on the side, right? That's what I always tell my kids. I'm your guide on the side. I'm not going to do it for you. I will be your guide on the side. And so I loved that so much. And I've already been using it with my own kids, where normally I would be like, here's what to do because I'm a fixer and I will tell you steps 1, 2, 3, 4, but with this new coaching approach, it's like, what do you think you should do? How does that make you feel? When are you going to try that? It makes them come up with a solution themselves. And so that for me was life-changing advice. Like truly, that is it already has been like changing my life. I feel like already a better leader and a better mom because of that. So that was one of my takeaways. Who wants to go next and share theirs? Corinne, where's Corinne? Corinne, you want to go?
I sure will.
Hey,
All right.
Let's hear it, girl.
So I've been to almost every conference, all the leader summits so far. I missed one of the trips, but one of the best things is just going there, seeing the community, getting to talk to your sister stylists that you've been working alongside with, or your teams, your uplines. The community in person is just so different. And to be there talking to all of these people, I've learned so much. Like I've already done a few things with my team, with some of the leaders that I've met. And one of the biggest takeaways that I got, or one of the phrases that I brought back with me, I believe Angie said it. She said, you can teach the skill, but you can't teach the will.
Yes.
And I really loved that. Like, honestly, as soon as she said that, I went in my team group and I was like, and I posted it. We have so much at our fingertips and even more coming that it's like you guys all said, we're basically relaunching Color Street. We have all these new things coming, all of these new collections coming. And if I remember correctly too, we're going to be having a lot more say in what we're providing for our customers. And I think having more say in that is going to produce more sales, which, more PV in your back pocket and everything. The comp plan, I believe they've been working on this for a year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think it was 18 months. This has been a long time.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, for the past 18 months, they've been designing this new comp plan to basically set everybody up for success. And if you're willing to work for it, it's totally achievable. And we had, the nail polish remover. Like, guys, have you tried the nail polish remover yet? Like it's the best thing that I've ever tried. So already we're launching, new nail care products, and it's going to help out so much more. And we're going to be set up to be able to provide all these things for our VIPs and our stylists. That's going to make this business and your personal business even so much more better than it already is.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I love is, FA Park's excitement and motivation for this still. If we all went, through our business like that, we would have so much more positive experiences and positive things happening because we're still that excited. If you're not excited about it, your customers won't be excited about it. Your team won't be excited about it. And that's the biggest thing, is keeping the hype up, because it is an amazing product and it's still affordable. You can, do a mani in 10 minutes, and the opportunity for everybody is still out there, even more so now. So I definitely think right now, another takeaway is growing your team, working with your leaders who you want to, help work with and promote, and telling your teams that, like, listen, like everything that's coming, it's in a positive light. Like the products, the comp plan, they're basically relaunching, so we have all this to look forward to. But if you're not excited about it, nobody else is going to be excited about it. And being at conference, seeing that, like dancing with you guys, like, it was so good to be with all of you guys and just feel the connection, the friendships, like the learning experience, bouncing ideas off of people that you may not have had communication with before, and creating new friendships and stuff. Like we're all doing the same thing, and I feel like that's a huge thing, is still helping your teams, creating, friendships, relationships, upline, side sisters, whatever, but when you get in a group in person, it's totally different.
Magic. It's magic. It really is.
It really is. So I hope to see all of you guys at conference.
Yeah, totally. And you know what, if you can't, that's conference is a while away. One thing that I'm really going to be pushing and encouraging with our team is I want to encourage everyone to start having mastermind chats with their leaders and their teams. Having these Zoom calls, even if you only have 1 or 2 people on your team, having a Zoom call, like a weekly Zoom call where you guys get together and you brainstorm ideas and you talk about, basically what I want to encourage everyone to do is get on a Zoom call once a week for 30 minutes with like your leaders or your entire team, whatever you feel is best, and get on and talk and share a win, have everyone share a win for 5 minutes, ask someone, have people ask what they need guidance on, share something you learned maybe from a training or personal development, and then challenge everyone with one actionable item. So you don't have to be the expert. Like, nobody wants the pressure of being the expert on a Zoom call, right? But you get on and you mastermind. That's why I like calling them masterminds. You come together and you ask everyone questions. And if someone asks a question, I've had people ask me like questions like, I'm struggling with this. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but then I ask the group, what do you guys think? What has worked well for you? So I want to encourage you guys. I think, what Corinne said was like, we need that community, and you can create that with your team. Everyone needs that sense of camaraderie, that sense of belonging. And that happens with these weekly Zoom calls. So want to challenge you all to set up a date, same time, same place every week for 30 minutes and do a Zoom call with your teams, or even your leaders, like maybe 2 or 3 levels below you. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'll be doing a call with my nationals and my senior executive directors every Tuesday at 10:30 Pacific, to starting next week, to brainstorm, come up with ideas, figure out ways we can help each other, help our businesses, help our teams. And I think that's going to be a game changer. And that's what Color Street's really encouraging right now. So I love that. Thank you, Corinne. Amanda, you want to share? Okay, unmute yourself.
I was muted. Thank you. Thank you. You know, Zoom loves me so much. It does not. What I really took away from that was kind of caused some peace was they emphasized a lot of the new comp plan that this is really working towards those who want to work. And this is really going to distinguish between your best VIP versus the person who really wants this hobby to be more than just a hobby. Because for me, I feel like a lot of times we have so much stress and so much pressure with all, you know, what we got to achieve and what we got to do and all these things. But if we look at it, you think, okay, the hobbyist is more likely going now to be your hostess instead of your next stylist. And so instead of pushing people to, you know, flipping the host who just wants the discount, it's going to be a big difference than really getting on team members who want to be there, want to work the business. And I feel like the new plan really is tailored to where you can, you know, kind of figure out and really think about, okay, is this going to be a job opportunity for you, or just going to be more of a VIP best hostess referral link program type of person? And the second thing, most of y'all know I've had a struggle in my colorship business the past 2 years. I've gone from one of the highest ranks down to pretty low ranks. And that was always a mental block for me. And I know a lot of people were stressed about the comp plan, but for me, for someone who has, you know, who went all the way, not to the top, I wasn't a rocket stylist, but I was up there. But it was very nice to see that I've done it once. I can do it again, but with this new plan, it's a fresh start.
Yes.
I'm not scared of it. I've already been pushed back so much past 2 years. I've already hit rock bottom. And this is just a fresh start. And seeing Mr. Park's excitement, you know, when he saw me, he's like, I mean, I'm so appreciative that you're here. He like jumped out of this line and like hugged me. He's like, so they had a line like, Amanda, come here. He's like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful you're here. And seeing him appreciate us being there. Not like he did appreciate those who weren't there, but it was nice to see him excited and happy and so proud of not him, but for all of us. And so I walked away with the work mentality is the number one goal when we think about enrollment and things like that. And that it's a fresh start, especially for those who may feel how I felt, where you're up here and now you're down here. This is a chance for us to get back to where we were, but also a fresh start, almost like a even playing field in a way.
Yeah, totally.
And so those are my two takeaways.
I'm so glad you shared that, Amanda, because I think everyone, you know, is kind of struggling with like going down in ranks, going down in income. Like it's happening across the field. And
I can't go much lower. So everything's looking up from where I'm at. Okay. I'm going up.
That's right. We are all going up.
Up.
We're all riding the Mr. Park train because like that man he knows business. He is a brilliant businessman, and like wherever he's going, I'm going, you know. But Amanda, it's, you know, I think we've all had these moments of struggle but like you said, if you did it before, you can do it again. And I really believe that this comp plan is going to make it a lot better. And I, as a leader, am trying to also find ways to simplify it for you guys, because I think we've probably overcomplicated things. And I think it doesn't have to be complicated. It needs to go back to being fun and simple, and we can still get results from that. And so that's something that I'm really, you know, trying to focus on. And that, you know, those are the things like just doing, even if you just do one of those battle of the hostess parties with a party partner a month, you're going to get results, you know. And if you're doing one mastermind a week or even a month, like your team's going to feel your love. So it's really about just focusing on those income producing activities, the things that are going to get you the most results. And like, you don't need to do all the other fluff. That's what I've decided. Like, we don't need to do all the other fluff. Let's do those really simple, basic things. And let's get back to the basics. That's what I think a lot of us have felt. In fact, Laura Brown, are you there? I thought I saw, there you are. You want to share? I noticed you mentioned, or I saw a comment from you that you wanted a training on getting back to the basics. Don't you feel like that's what we all need right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of timely that this new comp plan is being rolled out at a time when I think a lot of us are needing a fresh start. And I haven't finished the training, but I was part of a training by Kristen Boss about, I can't remember what it was called, but she talked about how industry-wide we've seen this huge uptick from COVID.
Right.
And
2020 was
huge
great.
growth. It's not just Color Street, it's huge growth because a lot of people had way less priorities all of a sudden to have to organize in their day. And
Yeah.
so when you only have 2 or 3, it's easy to make this new business a priority and to find a place for it in your life. And then the people that joined during that time never knew how to run it before that time. And so
Yeah.
things go back to normal a little bit. We start to have kids' activities and everyone in school, and work is back to normal. Sometimes even, we still have some of the hard things with COVID that came, and none of the silver linings anymore, right? So
Right.
we're kind of balancing both worlds, and so suddenly this thing that we started during COVID doesn't fit anymore, and so we kind of have this huge drop. Now she talks about how our incline, we're still on an incline, but it's going to go back and forth. And so it felt like Amanda was saying, and I just hopped on, so I missed everyone else's comments. I'll probably say something twice, but was feeling that backslide. I was the lowest rank I've been in 4 years last month, and how it almost was timely. It would, for me to have that happen right before going to Leader Summit, something that I had to be a certain rank to qualify to go to, and then backsliding at least 2 ranks to kind of remind me that you never really have it made. You have to keep working. And so it was the kick in the pants that I needed to take that meeting seriously and to show up not just for the dance party and all the yummy food and pictures with friends, but to show up for the trainings and take it seriously and be ready to learn. And that was why I went. And so
hang on really quick.
I got a lot out of it. There was a moment where we were asked to rank ourselves honestly across 10 different categories. And that was a moment of like, it was hard to go through that and to realize that there were some that have 0s out of 10, right? That haven't been happening. And to be honest with myself about that, so that I can, like Amanda was saying, like, there's nowhere to go but up right now, right? So if you have a 0, that's okay. That means even a 1, you're doing better than you were. And so some of those things were Color 10, nail bars, enrolling, onboarding, communication, recognition, leader development, holding meetings, identifying rising stars, and mentorship and coaching. And those are obviously specific to leaders, but there's a lot of those things that would apply to anyone. Can you really evaluate those things and say you're doing a good job on those things? And then to pick one to work on, not try to be amazing at everything all at once, because then you'll just burn out. And this business is we talk about being hustlers, and I don't want to be a hustler anymore. I want to be a slow and steady, lifelong, in it for the long haul. I don't want it to ruin my family relationships. I don't want all these things that can happen if you're constantly hustling and putting this, you've got to make it something that can be sustainable. And that's what I want. And so as this restart, as you're talking about going simple, I really feel like it's a chance to try it the right way. Not that I have a lot of regrets. There were things that we kind of had to do to get the growth that we have. But it's kind of exciting to have a fresh start and to have a comp plan that supports really healthy relationships with the people that we enroll. No more asking people to BQ to help us with our rank. I'm so happy that that's going to be over.
Yeah.
lots of good thoughts there, but that's what I've got. And I am packing for a trip that I'm leaving in like 3 hours. So I'm gonna hop off. but
Oh my
thank you.
gosh, thank you for chiming
Sorry
in.
to
I
share.
appreciate you. Bye. So yeah, I love that she mentioned like sustainable and simple. I think that's the way to have success in a business, is to do things that are sustainable and simple and consistent. We need an S word for consistent. But you can't coast. Like, I remember when Melissa Sodi was with Color Street, she was saying, there's no such thing as coasting, because it is like this. And if you're coasting, then guess what? You're going back, right? You've always got to be moving forward. And Mr. Park, he had a funny analogy. He was like, in 2020, he said, the fish were jumping in the boat. It was easy. The fish were just jumping in the boat. He's like, now in 2022, it's time to fish. Like, it's time to do the work and do the fishing, and not just expect the fish to jump in the boat. And so it's no more coasting. Like, we got to work for it if we want it, but we don't have to hustle. We can just, again, prioritize and do the things that are going to get us results. And that is parties, right? It's just those really basic things. We are a party plan business. So, posting, personal development, it's those P words that I've taught you guys. It's the personal messages. Okay, so we've got a couple other people. Patricia, are you there? Do you want to share? I muted you. If you want to share, go ahead and unmute yourself and share some of your takeaways, Patricia.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Wow, I wasn't expecting this, but here we go. Thank you for
go.
welcoming me. Well, this was actually my very first Leader Summit that I was able to attend. So I was super excited, super pumped. And I think, again, a lot of the takeaways have already been mentioned, but the trainings, that was like the bread and butter. That was like the golden ticket for me. I was so excited to hear and to learn and to just absorb all of it. Because mostly I wanted to take home to my team that excitement. I wanted to be able to share, of course, not just all of the wonderful insights and training tips and all of that, but just taking it back to the fun, taking it back to the why did we join this company? What makes it so amazing? Mm-hmm. The community, the leadership, a feeling like we're part of the family. I needed that for myself, but I also mostly wanted to take that back to my team. I want them to feel it as most they can, of course, without being presently there. But that was the reason, my main reason for going. And, true to Color Street, they made us feel like family. They made us feel like queens, really. And I just came home with that warmth feeling of this is a company that I want to be a part of. This is a vision that I am a part of and that I want to help my team see as well. So that was most of it for me.
Yes, totally. I mean, everyone has said the community, and you know what I was thinking about, Patricia? I used to be a photographer before I did Color Street, before I ever did any multi-level marketing or anything. And it was a lonely world. It's a lonely world being an entrepreneur, but that's one of the reasons I love direct sales, is that we have a whole team. We have people that are all working towards the same purpose, doing the same thing, and we can do it together, and we can collaborate, and we can, we have our little message chat threads, and we have our party partners, and hopefully everyone has like an accountability partner if you don't get one, because no one should do this alone. We have a community to tap into, and we need to tap into that. And we can also create that community in our VIP groups, like Erin was saying, and hosting in-person parties. You guys remember so I spoke on stage about social media, and at the Leader Summit, and one of the girls mentioned that it has been doing open houses at her house. And I thought that's such a simple way to do a party, is just like, hey, I'm having an open house, come do your nails and get some food and chat, That's a very casual, chill way to do a party. And I thought that was a great idea. And even remember the speaker, she also said to have a taco party. Like, she's like, if everyone has to bring one item, they're more likely to come if they know they need to bring like sour cream and cheese and salsa, and you know what I mean? I thought that was also a brilliant idea. So I love that. Thank you, Patricia, for sharing. Does anyone have any other thoughts before we wrap it up? This has been great to hear. I loved hearing all of your takeaways. It's a good refresher for all of us too. Unmute yourself if you want to chime in with last minute thoughts. Nope.
I'll add something.
Okay.
It's a little bit more towards your team. So going back, obviously we want to create a really close community with your downline, because they are, they're here. They're part of the reason why we are where we are. So one of the things that I have always done in my team group is I host a non-work related, I call it the Rockstar Team Hangout Night. So I just have one night every month. We make it a Zoom and we just hang out. We hang out, we talk, and I really try to not keep it Color Street, because I want everybody to have friendships, make friends, get to know each other. And it's worked a lot. It's worked really well. Like a lot of my girls, they have, like my local girls, they have went out to lunch together. They have helped out with babysitting, and it just kind of opens up the door for more personal relationships. And then it's easier to work with people when you kind of know who they are and what their background is like. But my team loves the team hangout nights, and it's something that they look forward to every month. And I mean, sometimes I'll do, giveaways or prizes or whatever. This time we are celebrating us as being a $2 million team. So, that was for them. So congratulations. Try doing that. Thank you. With your team groups, have a hangout night, get to know them. You want to get to know them. You want to have relationships with them, because we're helping each other out, and I feel like when you're closer with your downline and you actually know them and care about them, beautiful things can happen, not just Color Street wise too. And that's one of the things that I love about this. I have a lot of girls show up, they love it. So definitely try a team hangout night, get to know your downline and have fun.
Yeah. And you could even do that with your VIP group too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The more people feel connected, the more likely they're going to stick around. You know what I mean? So it's all about relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. And, let's be honest, I can't remember who said this, or maybe it was just an epiphany I had, but being an entrepreneur is like, it's not an elevator or an escalator. It's not like this, you guys. It is a roller coaster. Okay. And there's going to be highs and there's going to be lows. Some months are going to be, you're going to get great sales. Some months you're not going to. It's a roller coaster, but guess what? Roller coasters are more fun than escalators. Am I right? So plan for the highs and plan for the lows, and show up even during the lows, because they're going to happen. But that's really the best advice. Someone asked me when I was in line, they were like, hey, what's like your best advice that you could give me? When we were at Summit, she was like, okay, what's your best advice? And I was like, show up for your customers, show up for your team, show up and host the parties, show up at conference, show up. And the people that continue to show up every year are going to have success. Like, that's what I've noticed with direct sales, not only in Color Street, but in other companies that I've watched, that I have friends in. The ones that stick around, even when things get hard, even when things change, those are the ones who have success. And so that's my challenge to all of you. Show up. All right. Thank you everyone for hopping on and sharing your takeaways and also for watching. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, P.S. I am hosting a lot. We're going to be doing this every week. This is one way I'm going to show up for you as a team. I want to help you recruit because you have until the end of April to place people. You can still place people with the new comp plan, but it's going to be a little different. You have to be a senior team, senior team leader to be able to place. And you have to place under a team leader. So we have from now until end of April to really like build up that fourth leg, which is also super important for your, to really maximize the comp plan. So I am hosting a opportunity call Thursday night. We're going to do this every week, Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 p.m. Mountain. That's 8 p.m. Central and 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'm hosting that on Thursday, and then I'll have other people host it on other Thursdays, but this one, plan on that, invite your people to that, tell your teams about it, and really take advantage of this time. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And thanks for hopping on, ladies. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.